Hello and welcome. I'm Quail for All and this is my channel. Now today, as you've probably noticed, I'm not sitting on my sofa. I'm in fact in my kitchen because today we're going to be doing something slightly different to looking at some documentaries. Today I'm actually going to put some of my thoughts into action. So I am going to be changing my milk. Now alternatives to milk are not that uncommon to me. I have a milk intolerance to the casein protein. So I've always been brought up on soya milk. In fact, this is way back in the distant past. We're talking over 35 years ago. I went on prescription to having soy milk until it became more readily available on the market. I then started to buy it from the shop, and I was having Alpro, the unsweetened Alpro. Then I started to notice that goat's milk started to become readily available in the supermarket. And since that has got a different protein makeup to cow's milk, I gave it a whirl and found out that I could drink that perfectly fine. So for the past, probably now 15 years, I have been drinking goat's milk. But again, that's a farmed animal, so I'm going to be changing over. And the alternative that I'm going to be looking at is oat milk. Now, for all the various different milk alternatives that are on the market, oat milk is the most environmentally friendly of the bunch. Over here in the UK, we don't really have much in the way of almond trees. I believe that usually comes from California. And again, with the coconut milk, we don't really have coconuts here. It'd be nice if we had the climate for coconuts, but we don't. So that's not really feasible. Rice, again, we don't really have rice paddies in the UK. We might have enough rain at times, but no, what we do have is we can grow lots of oats. So I'm going to be having a look at that as more of an environmentally friendly alternative to my goat's milk. So I went to my local supermarkets. I went to Co-op, Morrison's, Tesco's, Sainsbury's and M&S, and had a look at what I could actually pick up. Now I found 6 different alternatives in the fresh and long life section. So I shall go through all 6 of those and see what are my top 5, and I'm going to be ranking them on nutrition, how well they actually mix into a hot beverage, whether it's tea or coffee, what does it taste like and look like for that matter, and also what's the price, because at the end of the day you don't really want to be paying an arm and a leg for a milk alternative when there's another one which is a fraction of the cost. So let's get this started. So the first one is Plentish. So for the nutritions, we have got per 100 milliliters, 41 calories, fat 0.6 grams, carbs 7.8 grams, and protein 0.9 grams. Doesn't say anywhere on it if it has got any extra fortification, so I'm assuming they have not added in anything extra. And we have the Alpro, unsweetened. I've tried to choose unsweetened for all of them as I don't want lots of extra sugar in my diet. Now this one does say that it has been fortified with calcium and vitamins, particularly B2, B12 and D, which from reading up can be quite lacking in the vegan diet. because they are usually consumed from animals or animal products. Here we go. So very similar in makeup to the previous one. So per 100 mils, energy, so 40 calories, fat 1.5 grams, carb 5.6, and protein 0.2. Not very high on the protein front, I must say. And then, yes, it has been fortified with the extras. So you've got your vitamin D, your B2, your B12, and calcium. So this is the Pro Vitamil oat milk, which it says this is enriched with calcium and vitamin D and B. And yeah, it says right down at the bottom, an alternative to milk and soya. Have a look at the ingredients. So we have per 100 ml, energies and the same, fat 1.2, carbs 6.3, protein less than half a gram. And there you have, you've got your vitamin D, your vitamin B2, folic acid, and your B12 and calcium. And here we have the Innocent milk. So this is another oat one, unsweetened. And it doesn't say on the front that it has been fortified, so let's just have a read at the back. Shake well, apparently is good in everything. So this one, per 100 mils, energy 49 calories, fat 0.8, carbs 11, protein 0. Wow, that's low. Also, it doesn't say that it's been fortified with anything. So here we have the Oatly oat drink. It doesn't say on the front that it has been fortified in any way. Nice little thing down the bottom saying that the climate footprint is 0.31 kilograms of CO2 per kilo. I'm assuming per kilo of the drink. Okay, so let's have a look at you see it has actually been fortified. So per 100 mils, energy 46, fat 1.5, carbs 6.7, protein 1, and then we have our D, B2, B12 and calcium. Now we have another Oatly. Now this one is a Barista Edition. See what this actually is going to be like compared to its original counterpart. Let's have a look at the back. And again with this one, so the energy per 100 mils is 59, so that's a lot more calories for 100 mils. Fat 3, so that's the fattiest one of the lot. Carbs 6.5, protein 1, vitamin D, vitamin B2, vitamin 12, and calcium. So this one has basically just got a lot more fat than the original version. Which I assume if you're going to be making a frothy coffees and whatnot, you need that extra fat to make the bubbles or stabilize the bubbles. Okay, so let's see what they're like. I have got, let's start with the Oatlys. So the original one, give it a shake. And let's have a look. Well, it's got a nice thick texture to it. A little bit of a frothy head from shaking it. Let's see what it tastes like, shall we? That is not unpleasant actually. It's quite nice. It's got a nice sort of fatty feel to it. So it nicely coats your mouth in a good way, like what milk does. It does taste slightly oaty, more in a sort of like porridgey type of way. It's not overly sweet. Probably about the same sort of sweetness level as normal milk would be. doesn't have any sort of grainy texture. Like I said, it's a very smooth, buttery, creamy texture and flavour to it. That's pretty tasty. I think I'll finish the rest of that off. Very nice. Okay, so that was the original. I'd be interested to see what it's like in the Barista variety, which apparently has got more fat in it, so it'll be good to see how that comes out at. Okay, so we have the Barista Edition Oatly. Going to give it a good shake up. Ooh, nice hiss. So let's have a look at this one. So again, nice, thick, creamy texture and opacity. Let's have a quick taste. Right, so this is the Barista one. Oh wow, you can really taste that extra fat in there. That is, that's a lot creamier. Ooh, that's nice. Still got that oaty tones to it, like a porridge. It's like drinking a really smooth porridge. I like porridge. That is a lot thicker. That's very, very tasty. And the extra fat is definitely something I'd be looking for in a milk alternative. And with being fortified as well, that'll definitely help with the nutritional value of it. Oh wow, yeah. That is tasty. That's seriously tasty. I like that. Okay, so next up, it's the Pro Vitae. Real nice opacity. Looks pretty milky like. Let's see what it ends up tasting like. Okay, the Pro Vitae. Ooh. Oh, that's really watery. It does taste a bit sweeter than the rest in a bad way as well. It says it's unsweetened. Concentrated oat syrup. I'm going to drink the rest of it because I've poured it, but yeah. Okay, so next up we have the Alpro Oat unsweetened, pure taste, no sugars. This one just says it's made from oat, chicory root fibre. Interesting. Now this one had the same fat content, I believe, as the Oatly. Right, so the Alpro oat milk. Oh, it's definitely unsweetened. That actually reminds me of their soya milk, but with a slight oaty flavour to it. Not as watery as the last one. A lot less in the porridgey flavour and more sort of gruel-like flavour. Certainly not the worst. Okay, so Plenish, their organic oat unsweetened milk. Now again, this one doesn't say that it has been enriched in any way. Alright, well that one didn't pour as well as the last one. It had a different open, where the other ones were the sort of like ring pull open. This was the twist and break a seal type. See what it's like. That's another one that's got a nice creamy texture to it. Again, as you'd expect, it's got an oaty flavour to it. Yeah, that's not bad. That's pretty good flavour to it. Definitely unsweetened in a good way. Yeah, I'd be happy with that. That's tasty. And last but not least, the Innocent Unsweetened Oat. Let's give it a shake. Now this one actually had one of the least amount of fats in it and no protein. So it'll be interesting to see what this is like. Again, it has not been fortified with anything. Also, the smallest bottle. This only comes in 750ml bottles, but the rest are all in litre bottles. I have high hopes for the Innocent one. It's usually a good manufacturer. What they produce is quite nice. So hopefully, especially for the money, this is one of the most expensive ones, that it'll taste quite nice. Oh wow, that's pretty disgusting. Oh, that's overly sweet. Oh. Oh, that doesn't even taste oat. Oh, that doesn't taste like oats at all. Oh, that's nasty. Oh. That reminds me of the old days of soy milk, where you would physically cringe drinking the stuff. Oh wow, that's just... Oh, it's got some sweetener or something in it. Oh, it says it's only made with 3 ingredients, but... spring water, oats and sea salt. Really, I'm thinking, has the sea salt really changed the flavour that much? But it's got the least amount of fat. Doesn't taste, fat-wise, it doesn't feel that it has less fat than the others. So yeah, it feels nice to the mouth. It just doesn't taste nice on the tongue. Oh, I'm really disappointed by that. I was kind of expecting this to be a really nice one, but that does not taste nice on its own. Now these might taste differently once they've in a hot drink. We'll give that a whirl next, see how they actually mix up, because I know sometimes things like this can separate. My God, that's bad. Do you know what, I'm not even gonna... Oh, I've got to finish that off. Oh, wow. That's not good at all. I'm gonna have to get some of that Barista to have washed my mouth out with. Here we have a cup of tea, and we're going to try it with the Oatly. So I'll give it another good shake just for good measure. Looks like I might need to drill more actually. So, How's this going to taste? Looks good. Hasn't separated out or anything. That tastes just fine. That tastes like tea with maybe a slight oaty note to it, but nothing unpleasant. Yeah, I would happily drink that. It's nice. Okay, so we have a fresh cup of tea. Now we will try the Barista. Give it a good shaky. Now, this one so far, I have to say, is my favourite. So, here we go. There's the Barista. That still got that smoothness and richness in the mouth. Extra fat. It just helps make a more pleasant drink. Doesn't smell oaty. I can taste that even less oaty than normal Oatly, which is probably because I need to use less. Because of the higher fat content, I need to put less in, so it tastes less oaty, which is quite good because that tastes a lot more tea-ish with just the normal Oatly. Yes, that's very pleasant. I'm liking that. I'm liking that a lot. I think I might have to finish it off. Well, that's always a good sign. An empty glass. Okay, for our second one, we've got the Pro Vitae. Now, this was probably my second disliked. Again, nicely so far. Everything has mixed in just fine. I haven't had any problems with that. Well, that slightly odd taste to it. It's still there. Yeah, it's got that almost soya-like taste. It's not unpleasant, it's just not as nice as the rest. Yeah, I wouldn't say no to that. That's still tasty in tea. So we have the Alpro. This again was one of my least favourite to really drink. That still carries its slight twang to it, that sort of soya-like twang. I'm not particularly a great fan of this Alpro one. It's good that it's got the extra calcium and vitamins, but it's not as good as the rest, and for the same sort of price, it's not nice. It's not as good. It's sort of like, I don't know, processed flavour just sort of lingers. Plenish. Now this was the most expensive one at £2.50. And to be honest, doesn't seem to be worth that extra money. It doesn't seem to be any better than the rest. It's not fortified. Wasn't wonderful. It's not a very good pour. Let me try it upside down. It doesn't taste too oaty at all. A lot of them are much of a muchness. There's very little, to be honest. I know I'm nitpicking at them, but there's very little really in them all. I must say, this one doesn't leave that funny processed flavour in your mouth, which is quite nice. That was one of the things I didn't like about the Alpro and the Pro Vitae. They seem to leave just a lingering taste. However, it doesn't feel as creamy as the rest. With the others, you've got got that nice creamy after texture. Well, that's a good sign. I've finished the glass without too much complaining. Okay, so our last one, the Innocent Oat Milk. This was my least favourite. It almost made me gag a little bit drinking this. But let's see how it gets on in tea. It does have that sort of slightly insipid look to it, the dirty dishwater. I'll just try and add a little bit more in. No, I think because of the lack of fat in this, that you don't get that nice creamy finish. It ends up just looking a little bit like you used skimmed milk. Or even before I taste it, I can smell that oatiness to it. Oh my god, that's completely ruined it. Oh, that sweetness and the weird oaty, sort of processed oaty taste to it has just completely destroyed that tea. And I have a feeling that it's going to completely destroy any drink that it goes with. Yeah, it's too sweet, too oaty, not fatty enough, and expensive. I am kind of hoping that as I take sips of this, that the sweetness and the oatiness of it sort of settles down on my palate and it's not quite so evasive. This isn't particularly tasty. Oh, I drank it because I made it. I didn't drink it because I was happy with it. Oh, I'm just trying to think what I'm going to do with the rest of the bottle now. That was not nice. So, these are our 6 contenders. And let's see where they fall. So, my least favourite has got to be the Innocent one. It just doesn't taste nice. It doesn't feel nice. It's not fortified. It's the second most expensive at £2. However, it is only 750 mils, so that probably puts it in line to be as expensive as the most expensive one. But yeah, I don't like it. It's not nice and too expensive, not fortified. And that brings us to our 5th one, the Plenish. Now again, it didn't taste particularly nice. It mixed up well, like all of them, they mixed up really well. It was in line with the most expensive, £2.50. It's in the fresh aisle, so like the Innocent, so it's not going to have as long a shelf life. It's not fortified, and yeah, wasn't particularly nice, which is a shame. Now for number 4, the Alpro. Now, it was fortified, which is good. Good price is £1.50, and the only downside is that it didn't taste very nice. It had a weird soya-like twang to it, which just left all around the mouth. It wasn't pleasant. So for number 3, we have the Pro Vitae, which it's fortified. It's got a bit extra fortification in it actually. It's got the folic acid in it. Again, similar price of about £1.50. But yeah, again, it had that slightly odd taste to it, and it was a bit on the watery side, I think. So in position 2, we have an Oatly. It is the original Oatly. Now this, again, is fortified, £1.50. It had a nice flavour in the mouth. It sat nicely and coated everything nicely. It was a good drink. Had a nice, like I said, nice texture, nice flavour to it. Didn't leave any funny, nasty twangs in my mouth or anything. It wasn't too sweet. Wasn't bland. Yeah, that was nice. I like that. So, drum roll please. We have our finalist. Now, as you probably already guessed, it's going to be the Earthy Barista. This is a fantastic milk. Really, truly, really is. And it's got, I think it's the extra fat that they put into it. It makes it feel more like a full fat milk than something slightly insipid and watery. I've never been a great fan of the sort of like the skimmed or even the semi-skimmed milks. And yeah, it's again, it's fortified. It's in the long life section, so it's shelf stable for a long time, which is great for storage. It tastes nice. It feels nice. I think it's 160. So a couple of pence more expensive than the Oatly original. And yeah, that's really tasty. Really, really nice. And I think this is going to be my go-to now. So from now on, I'm going to be drinking this. So these are the milks that I managed to find in my local supermarkets. Is there any that you found in yours which I don't have? What's your favourite oat milk? What's your favourite milk alternative? If you like this vid, click on the thumbs up and subscribe. And follow me on Twitter and Instagram for some behind the scenes and a little glimpse into what I do and when I'm going to be doing it. Okay, well, thank you very much for watching and take care.